and welcome back to the Cycle Power Summit 2019. I'm your co-host, Melissa Buchan. And today we are with a very special lady, Leah Jacobson. Leah is a board-certified international lactation consultant. She has her own practice and she makes home visits, working with women, helping them transition into the postpartum phase of life. That is such a valuable service. But in addition, Leah is founder of the Guiding Star Project. This is an international initiative, a family of care centers that empowers women to understand, embrace, and love their natural bodies. And that is not all. Leah is the mother to 6 children and 1 on the way. Leah is a go-getter and a change maker, and I can't wait to hear what she's up to in 2019. Leah, it is so good to be here with you today.
I am so honored and excited to talk with you again, Melissa.
Yeah, and you say again, so Leah and I go back I think we decided it was about 5 years ago. I took care of her dog, Xander. They were on a little sabbatical to Texas. I think was your husband, Josh, doing some work for his nursing program?
He was. It was, so we left Minnesota because Minnesota is so cold anyhow in the winter. And so we left in February, and he took a travel nurse job in Bryan College Station, and then he did his pediatric rotations in San Antonio. So it was a lot of driving, actually.
Yeah.
But we stayed in Texas for about 3 months and just kind of escaped the Minnesota winter. And we worked on a Guiding Star project while we were there. But you were the sweetest thing ever, because we found housing while we were there for our 5 children at the time, which was no small feat. But no one would take 5 children and a dog. Imagine that.
Well, we loved our time with Xander. I know. So I have 2 dogs, Champ and Rufus, and they loved Xander. So yeah, that fun memories. So
you guys totally came to the rescue. You took our dog in when we couldn't find housing for him in Texas. So thank you so much. We still owe you.
Person or canine will take you in. All right. So Leah, today we're going to talk about your Guiding Star project. And so the Guiding Star project, it's based on holistic women's health care. So I'd really like you to speak to that. If you can tell us a little bit about this concept, holistic women's health care, and how this differs from the mainstream approach when a woman goes into her medical clinician.
Sure. So my interest in this really began quite a while ago when I was working on a college campus. And then as I went on to do my master's program, like you mentioned in the introduction, I'm a board certified lactation consultant. And so I did my master's program in health and wellness, like women's health and wellness, with a specialty track in lactation. And it became really clear as I was studying and reading that women's health care is one of the only areas in medicine where it's deemed successful to actually subvert or destroy or kind of oppress the functions of the body. And it became really troublesome as I was working with lactation. I couldn't help but draw parallels in the childbirth realm, how we tend to kind of augment and change the natural processes of childbirth as well as fertility. And so I wrote my master's thesis in 2012 on how a true woman's healthcare, a true healthcare that is focused on the health of a woman's body, should be focused on the healthy processes of her fertility, so ovulation, her childbearing, so ovulation, gestation, and lactation. Those are the 3 unique functions of a woman's body. And that for a system to call itself a women's healthcare system, it really should understand how these functions work when they're optimized, when a woman is fully healthy, how her fertility, her childbearing, and her breastfeeding should look. And so I kind of became really obsessed with that idea right around 2012. And we launched the National Guiding Star Project to create women's healthcare centers that would speak to that would tell women it's not healthy to suppress, alter, or destroy these functions. That's not normal. What's normal is for these functions to work in such a way that you can understand, that you can support your body, and that you will know that if your fertility is suboptimal, that you will understand maybe why you're having recurrent miscarriages, and that when it comes time for breastfeeding, that you'll know what to expect. I think we've just kind of raised a culture of young women that really don't know what to expect from their bodies. And there is a little bit of fear. There's a
Mhm.
subconscious fear that comes with that lack of knowledge. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
Guiding Star is just trying to bring that empowerment and that knowledge and that education, and couple it with healthcare providers that are capable of walking alongside women.
what a beautiful mission. That is such a beautiful mission, because I love the way that you lay it out of ovulation, gestation, lactation. Did I say that correctly?
Yep, that's right. We
Yeah.
call them the female superpowers.
That's exactly, you took the words out of my mouth. Exactly what I was going to say. Wow, when you think about it that way, we are so awesome. We are created
Hmm.
with superpowers. Wow. Okay. So then you have vision for guiding stars. So you're envisioning a healthcare center where through all stages of a woman's reproductive life, she is being supported to really optimize her health and to live with its natural function rather than suppressing it.
Yeah, so our centers, our Guiding Star brand, our philosophy is that those three areas of a woman's body, that is women's healthcare. To care for a woman's body uniquely. You can look at healthcare in general, and things like heart disease, like that matters, absolutely. Obesity, diabetes, that matters, but those aren't unique to women. What is unique, though, is how those things interact hormonally with a woman's natural abilities, like her feminine superpowers. So the issue of diabetes is very different in pregnancy than it is, for a man who's never going to be pregnant. And so if we're going to look at any issues surrounding a woman's health, we have to always view it through the lens of what is her female body doing? What's unique
Yeah.
about her female body?
Oh,
And that's really important.
yeah. Yeah, it just gave me chills. I love that because we're not one and the same. It's so important to realize that. And that if we really tap in, we are not a series of 11 biological systems. We're a holistic being. And the reproductive system is a huge integral into the endocrine system, into every system of our body. And if we can really understand our reproductive system, what it's capable of, and even read the science of it, we have a whole new knowledge base on what's going on in our bodies and how to take care of it and how to really optimize our well-being.
Yeah, and we're just doing women a huge injustice when we allow this definition of women's health care to exist. It's been unchallenged virtually for, gosh, close to 60 years in our country,
Yeah.
more than 60 years probably, where this idea of a woman's healthy system is optimized when it's most like a man's. And
Mm-hmm.
how misogynistic and how awful is that,
Yeah.
really? To say that your body is most healthy when it acts like a man's. Like, no, that's not fair. That's not
Right.
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 So
Yeah.
we're really just trying to challenge and push back on that and say, true love for women
Mm-hmm.
is when you love her body as it's naturally created,
Mm-hmm.
and you work to find out if there are suboptimal issues. If you're dealing with infertility, if you're dealing with lack of or lactation failure,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's to love a woman, is to work with her body and find what's
Love that. I
challenging it.
love that. That's to love a woman, is to work with her body. And you mentioned that this has really been the narrative for the last 60 years, but I'm really seeing it turn around. In my own practice of working with women teaching fertility awareness, more and more I am getting requests from young women who are dissatisfied with their doctor telling them that they need to be on the pill for irregularity or for symptoms. And they are saying, hey, you know what? I want to know what's going on with my body. Can you help me understand what's going on? And we learn how to navigate her cycle and identify the biomarkers and what that's telling her. So I do see that there is a shift in the conversation. Maybe it's just me
Absolutely.
because this is what I do day in and day out, but women are wanting to take control of their bodies and not say yes to the suppressive approach to
And I mentioned, those three kind of areas with breastfeeding, childbirth, and fertility. And I think that we've seen the breastfeeding movement
Mhm.
really took root in the late 70s, or in mid 70s, really, with the La Leche League and the government taking an interest in promoting breast is best.
Yeah.
And then we saw kind of a natural childbirth movement of women reclaiming their ability to give birth, birth choices.
Mhm.
And it's only a matter of time until that trickles down to fertility, because it just makes sense. It's consistent to say, your breasts are great. They produce something beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Why is your womb any different? Why are your ovaries any different? Because your
Absolutely.
natural body. And so, really it's a strange, it's strange that it's taken this long, I guess, that there's been a 50-year gap between understanding that lactation is an important function of the body. But it's coming. I think it's just kind of been a generational. We've had this challenge of, I think, the birth control lobby, of the artificial contraceptive lobby,
Mm-hmm.
almost suppressing women's knowledge of themselves, and downplaying that knowledge of themselves and saying it's not important, and trying to replace it
Right.
with this false knowledge of, well, you know how to suppress your body. Well, great. That's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful. You
Mm-hmm.
know how to break yourself, but do you actually know how to work with your body? That's
Right.
the
Absolutely.
question.
Absolutely. There's always money to be made in big pharma
Mhm.
promoting something that takes a really easy approach of suppressing a woman's natural womanhood.
Yep.
But it's knowledge. It's taking knowledge and living that out when you try your cycle. So I always get excited anytime I hear an organization that promotes cycle charting. What does this look like in the context of a guiding star project?
Sure. So every one of our centers, they're required to meet we have 4 core service areas in every center. And so the first 3 obviously are fertility, childbirth, and breastfeeding. They have to provide services in those areas. And the 4th one is actually kind of my pet project, or my pet, like, this has to be there because I'm a mom of soon to be 7 kids. They have to provide a drop-in child watch area just for that mom that's stressed out and needs to drop her kids in child watch for 2 hours,
Nice.
or she needs to get to an appointment with her fertility care practitioner, her doula,
Yeah.
her midwife, whatever. So our centers offer those 4 core areas of service. And in fertility, we have a policy that we're open to whoever in the community is teaching kind of a proven fertility, a science-based method of family planning, or
Mhm.
fertility awareness methods. So we work with many methods. We have Billings instructors, Creighton instructors, Marquette instructors, Sympto Pro, Couple to Couple League. We work with whoever is already in the community, because that's one thing that we really believe strongly in, is this idea of cooperation, that we don't recreate or compete when there's
Mhm.
something good in a community. We invite them into our
Oh,
center.
and what a great opportunity for, I know for our audience listening to this
Mhm.
summit, there are a lot of fertility awareness educators. What a great community to,
Yeah.
or environment to bring all of these professionals together, because we get
Yep.
so busy in our day to day that oftentimes we don't take time to meet up with a Marquette instructor or some pro. But when you come together and you have all of your services, the the services align. So then you have the opportunity to work with each other and build each other up. And
Yeah, it's great. It works really great actually for the fertility care instructors, because we have sometimes they'll have their own office within the building. If they're there every day on a daily basis, they have their own established office. But if they're using it more as like a satellite location just to meet with clients occasionally, they have access to the conference room to do their intro sessions. They can do their one-on-ones in the small meeting room. But it allows us to have many different instructors and many different methods available to the different women. And then the nice part for the fertility instructors is that if there's a problem outside of their scope, we have other professionals in the building. If there's a lactation problem going on as well, you can refer to the lactation consultant across the hallway. You have those partnerships.
yeah. Wow, that is just so. I'm part of a networking group of fertility awareness professionals, and they're always helping each other find office sharing spaces or ways to just get the business aspects out of the way so that they can work with their clients and provide the service they're so passionate about. And this sounds like a beautiful solution to that. So we need more guiding star centers everywhere.
Absolutely. And we even have child watch. You can drop your kids in the child watch.
Great. So whether you work there or whether you're a patient for going in for service.
Absolutely. That's what it's for. It's
Awesome.
for anybody who's coming in to use the center, or anybody who just needs that mental break for up to 2 hours a day. You can drop your kids in the child watch.
Oh,
And
even
go
if you're
see.
not, even if you don't have an appointment.
Even if you don't have an appointment.
Nice.
Yeah.
You need a coffee shop. Okay, have a coffee
Well,
shop.
and that actually, we do have a requirement for some sort of hospitality, coffee machine, cookies, something in the lobby at least. But
Oh, great. Yeah.
honestly, I've wanted a coffee shop in every one of our centers from day one, because I want to just go sit in one. It's for me.
Yes, let the kids play and have a cup of coffee, just unwind.
And
And then
need a
what a
friend.
great place for like-minded women to be able to connect. Because
Absolutely. That's what it's
sometimes,
for. It's to serve and create community among women, because we need to have more relationships in our life, more authentic relationships. And in order to do that, you need place and time
yeah.
and opportunity.
And yeah, because let's be real, one of the I think biggest struggles for women when they say, hey, I want to take this approach and live a charting lifestyle and look at other birth alternatives, and I really want support in breastfeeding, sometimes they hit a wall,
Yeah.
especially if where they live there aren't supportive communities. So this is such a beautiful and exciting opportunity. Okay, so tell
Yeah,
us
we're
about,
really hoping to redefine what women's healthcare has been in our country, and to help women just really love themselves.
yeah,
Stop apologizing for how you were made. You're a
absolutely.
woman.
I love it. Stop apologizing. Just live it to the fullness. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have 7 centers across the nation. We actually have already chatted with Carrie Biedner from
Oh, wonderful.
Guiding Star Center of Orange City. Did I say that
Yeah,
correctly? Yeah.
Orange City, Iowa. Yeah, they're a great center. We love, they're doing a ton of fertility education there.
Awesome. So
They're
where are your
awesome.
other 6 centers located?
We have one more in Iowa. So we've got Cedar Valley, Iowa, Orange City, Iowa.
Okay.
And then a little north of there in Minnesota, we've got in the Twin Cities, Guiding Star Wakota.
Mm-hmm.
And then south of there, mid-Missouri, Guiding Star Mid-Missouri, Guiding Star El Paso, Texas,
Good.
Guiding Star Tampa, Florida. And then our newest one is in Ohio, Akron, Ohio, Guiding Star Akron, Canton.
Okay, so you're all over the place.
We are kind of, it's fascinating how this works. Like, we don't target an area. We kind of allow people to come to us. Certain communities are just set up well for this. Certain communities have good understanding of our definition of women's healthcare, and they have a good cooperative sort of network already happening.
Mm-hmm.
And when we
So,
see that, it's very easy for us to come in and help them get a center up and running.
so
But
what does a community that's well suited for a Guiding Star Center, what are some of the key components?
well, if you've got fertility care practitioners there, NFP and fertility awareness instructors already successfully teaching classes, that right there is probably one of the biggest requirements for us, because it shows that you have a market. You have women who already understand what we're saying and will desire to come and use our center. So that's a good indicator. And then if you have doulas, midwives, like a natural childbirth community that's active, that is very supportive, that just shares our kind of our life approach. Lactation consultants, physicians, midwives, doctors, people that can come together to do this. That's what we do when we come in. We kind of look at who's here, who's doing what. Are they friendly with one another? Are they in conversation with one another? Are they coordinating? If they're already starting to coordinate some of their services, it's pretty easy for us to come in and get a center going.
So for a physician, I'm just thinking logistically here. Are these new young physicians who are starting up their practice? Do you find difficulty in a physician who has a well-established practice and basically they'd be starting a new office? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, we've kind of done it a couple different ways. We're still piloting and figuring it out. We're very flexible, actually. We figure out based on, state laws, what your requirements for licensing are. One of the ways that we've done it that I really like, actually, is in Tampa, Florida, we hired a nurse midwife, and it was not her own practice. We hired her to be a practitioner in our center. And so she's doing full well woman care. She's doing hormonal pellet therapies, just really great stuff for postmenopausal women, handling a lot of prenatal appointments and well woman care. And I've really liked that because she's her own practitioner in our practice. And so all of our women are referred directly to her for their continuing care, which has worked really well. Another way that we've done this is in Cedar Valley, Iowa. That's Dr. Bob Pranger, and he had his own practice. He was a family practice doctor who just aligned very well with us philosophically with what we believe. And he basically invited the additional Guiding Star services into his building. He made room in his building. And so we were able to put a lactation practice and doulas and all the fertility care providers right in his office space. So it's worked really well there as well. And he isn't in an independent practice. He's running his practice, but we're surrounding and supporting and have a great referral relationship back and forth.
Incredible. Incredible. So I love that there's flexibility here. So if somebody's out there listening to this and learning about Guiding Star for the first time, maybe they're a clinician in one of these areas, there is room for brainstorming and collaborating, and how we can bring these services together with the Guiding Star support to offer this comprehensive, holistic approach to women's healthcare.
Yeah, in any place, even if we don't have a center in your area, if you're a physician, or a mid-level with a license in a state that's licensed, contact us, because we can help get a new practice up and running.
Excellent. Excellent. So where do people find out about you?
The best place is probably just going to our website. They can, guidingstarproject.com, and they can email us. Contact at theguidingstarproject.com is the email address that we usually start, or fill out the form there. We kind of have a vetting process where we go through and say, are we philosophically really aligned? Because it is something that we have to check really upfront very closely, because we want to make sure that everybody in our center is a consistent and safe referral for women. We don't want to have somebody who, kind of secretly has their own worldview about women's healthcare, making referrals someplace else. And so it does take a little time to figure out who belongs in a center, who the providers are. But we're happy to lay
the foundation. Foundational work is the key to any successful venture.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that most people do realize that, a lot of the groundwork is making sure that everybody is on the same page and there's a good working environment there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are you up to in 2019? What's your latest project?
Oh my goodness. Good stuff.
Besides growing a baby.
Talked to Carrie. You talked to Carrie up in Orange City. So we're launching the Cycle Show partnership with the organization from Germany.
And I'm so
for young girls.
Excited about that.
No, I'm really excited about that too, because it's, aimed at the 10 to 13-year-old girl just as she's starting her fertile years, which I love. So those programs, we're going to be trying to roll that out across the whole country in 2019. And then one of the other things that we just launched this last month was a partnership with SymptoPro for online fertility education and charting. And so that's up on our website right now. We have a portal system, and we have our own SymptoPro instructor now working on our team to handle women who come through Guiding Star that are wanting to learn a symptothermal method online. So that's been fun. I'm excited to offer that, because there's a lot of women who don't have a Guiding Star center nearby, or they don't really have much of anything for fertility awareness. And this is something that we can have women from any country of the world, learning fertility education.
That's fantastic, because one of, for everything that is so wonderful about fertility awareness, sometimes I feel like the barrier of entry is a little too high. Women are not getting the resources that they need. They want to learn how to chart effectively, but they don't know where to get started. So what a invaluable service you're offering by
so that's exciting. And then we're just, we're rolling out a few new affiliates this year. So there's states that we're going to be hitting and adding to the map. We're just in the process of getting that ready to announce.
So that's super exciting. Oh,
it is exciting.
So yeah, keep me in the loop of when you're announcing those. I definitely want to know and help celebrate. That's exciting. And then, you're having a baby as well. So
that's the other thing. I'm having a baby at the end of May. So
just a few months away.
Yeah.
Wow. So much going on. So yeah, this is for sure going to be a full year.
It'll be good. We're excited to see the growth of it. And we're just excited because there's so many more women, that are coming to us from so many different places. It's not, it's not a religious thing. It's not it's just a common sense women's healthcare thing. We want excellent women's healthcare. And so we're growing.
I can't tell you how many times I work with, like, the first consultation that I have with a woman, and she's almost a little upset by the end of, why haven't I ever heard of this before? Why isn't this course taught in high school? And we're just up against a lot of barriers, but we're breaking that down, and we just have to keep at it. But yes, women want this knowledge, and we have to just keep that conversation going, talking about it. The Cycle Power Show. Oh, I cannot wait. So for all of the listeners out there, in order for this to really be built up from the ground, they need instructors. So if you listen to the episode with Carrie Biedner from the Guiding Star Orange City, learn about the Cycle Show. And if you are at all saying, yes, hey, I want to help with this, contact Guiding Star and consider being an instructor. That's where it gets started. Years ago, that's what I did when I learned about fertility awareness. I started charting, completely changed my view of my body. And I said, okay, I'm going to start teaching this. And I've been doing it for the last 12 years. So just listen to that. If you're excited and listening to this, ladies, like I am, I can't stop what I'm doing now to become a cycle show educator, or I would, but contact Leah and learn information about it.
Yeah, it's such the unique part about this program, I think, is that it's set up to be in the schools, which I love. It's set up to address fifth grade girls, which I have a fifth grade daughter right now, and I wish that her little friends at school could go through this program together, because we talk about it all at home. She's getting ready for her, her period and all that stuff. But when she tries to talk with her friends, she's like, Mom, I don't think they know about that. I'm like, they probably don't, honey. Let their mom tell them. But
yes.
They're gonna be so surprised.
Even the book. It's a great book that Dr. Reith, am I saying that correctly, Dr. Reith?
Yeah, I believe so. Lizzie. Yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah.
Her book's fantastic. I recently purchased it, and it's good stuff. So
it is good. It's good stuff. Our daughters deserve to know this.
I mean, anything better than the 1980s health and hygiene 20-minute presentation that they currently. So I'm a fifth grader too. So I recently sat in on that presentation, and I'm pretty sure it was the same one I watched with like the 80s hair and
probably.
Yeah. And everybody's just like sweating and nervous, and they're going to watch it. They're not going to talk about it. And then they forget it. Like this one-time approach is not working. But well,
I just remember they sent the boys out on the playground, and then they gave us our little pad kits, and we were all like hiding them because we didn't want the boys to see them.
So good work in changing that narrative and really just empowering our next generation of women. I mean, and I love how you brought it together. We went through this movement of really opening up the narrative of lactation, and we saw a boom in breastfeeding promotion. We learned about it is the best thing for a baby. So if you are able to, it's the best approach for you. And then we learned about natural birth and how not everybody has to go through a hospital medicated birth. You have options there. And now we're transitioning into learning about how our reproductive system works. And just by paying attention to our body, saying, I'm not going to suppress it, I'm going to listen to it.
Yep.
We gain a wealth of knowledge about it. And for me, my biggest thing is it is such a beautiful exercise in self-awareness and self-acceptance. And we live in a very noisy world, and it can be a hard time for adolescent girls. But if you can tune into your body and know what it's telling you, it doesn't make those symptoms go away, but it validates why you're experiencing them. And really, it's tuning you into your superpower.
Amen. And I mean, really, I think it all leads into like just being mentally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy. This is all connected. Like when you stop to check in with yourself each day, even if it's just to check your cervical mucus or your temperature, you're still acknowledging yourself. You're still acknowledging that I'm experiencing something today and it's different than yesterday. And that's important. We need to look at ourselves and acknowledge that we're created wonderfully, and you don't need to apologize.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Okay. I think that we could talk all day.
Oh, I'm sure we could.
Okay. So with each interview, what we are doing is we are asking, what is your number one cycle power tip?
Now you're referring to charting your cycle? Like what's the thing that helps the most with charting your cycle?
Or just really cycle. It could be anything. It could be anything at all, from the products you use to how you chart to mindset. It could be anything.
For me, and I think it really depends on the age of a woman, if she's a younger woman or if she's in the throes of her fertility or if she's, postmenopausal. I think the thread that ties through all of it is recognizing that at this point where I'm at right now, I'm not broken.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not I'm able to conceive a baby and I'm trying and I feel like I'm broken in some way or I feel like something's wrong with me, just remembering that I'm not broken, because as a woman, I was created for a type of relationship and a type of just authentic motherhood, really, to the people around you, no matter what your state in life. If you're single, if you're married, if you're divorced, if you're postmenopausal, just recognizing that as a woman, your physical body is a very important part of who you are, but there's these spiritual components as well, and that can never be broken. That you always have a very vital, necessary, essential function to create a society that is welcoming and dignifying. So as women, just never forget that our cycle and our body reminds us of these things. Like our body reminds us that we're built for relationship, and we're built for hospitality, and we're built for, having people in our life. Our body is good about reminding us that, but the spiritual truth is that you find great joy and great health and great peace in allowing those relationships that your body initiates to flourish in your life. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I mean, it's like, I'm getting so excited. I love having conversations like this. It just really, again, we could just pour a cup of coffee and talk all day long. So thank you so much for being part of the narrative, for, I'm sure, working your tail off. You are doing so much good work. So keep it up. And I look forward to being in touch and hearing about the new affiliates that roll out, and hearing the announcement of a new baby in May, and learning about the progress of the cycle show. So good luck to you in all that you do. So it's been
so much, Melissa. Thanks for hosting this. This is great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Leah. And we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Bye for now.